But I want to take you back to the Second Gulf War, to the war that George W. Bush, right after 9/11, if you remember, the war that started in Iraq that eventually brought down Saddam Hussein. And I want you to know that one of the things that convinced the Security Council then that America has a reason to go into Iraq was information, was footage that Israel provided of trucks loaded with what was known as weapons of mass destruction, or at least parts of it, ingredients of it, brought all the way from Iraq into Syria. Now, why am I a little bit laughing here? It's because the whole world is convinced that America got in and found nothing. And I think it's very, very deceiving. Why? Let me show you something. You probably never heard of that. Secret U.S. mission hauls uranium from Iraq. This is in 2008. And I want you to know that's way after the beginning of the war, way after everybody were convinced there is no such thing as weapons of mass destruction. People failed to understand that Saddam Hussein was on his way to, create nuclear weapon. And as you can clearly see, it says the last major remnant of Saddam Hussein's nuclear program, a huge stockpile of concentrated natural uranium, reached a Canadian port Saturday to complete a secret U.S. operation that included a 2-week airlift from Baghdad and a ship voyage crossing 2 oceans. So don't tell me that nothing bad was found. But I want you also to know another thing. I want you to see this thing. Did Syria receive its chemical weapons from Saddam? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you back. When Saddam was stockpiling his weapons of mass destruction, where do you think he got it from? Let me tell you something. He got it all the way via Syria. In other words, the Syrian regime that had access to the Mediterranean allowed everything to come from the sea into Syria and from Syria all the way into Iraq. The minute there was a major, I guess, danger for the Iraqis that it will be exposed, they reversed it. They sent it back to Syria. And I'm reading to you, Syria's admission Monday that it has chemical weapons has received a counter theory to one of the bigger intelligence failures in American history, the non-existence of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. You see? So they think that there was no weapons of mass destruction. Of course there was. There was chemical, there was biological, and he was working on the nuclear one. But when he was busted and when Iraq started to be invaded by the American and coalition forces, we started noticing that those trucks are now driving back to Syria to eliminate all traces of these things from Iraq, to show that America didn't really need to attack.